Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Sorry I missed yesterday's stream. I just got caught up with work. I literally could not escape yesterday. Oh well, we're back. How's it going? Hey, Diginanigans. It's been awesome talking with you in the Discord about our different approaches, what we're working on. All right, today we're going to pick up where we left off on Tuesday, which was trying to identify why our new diagonal flood filling seems to be getting through all the barriers. Like, it doesn't seem to be stopped by anything, or it's leaking through or something. Something is preventing it from working the way that it should be. So we need to dive into that and figure out where that error is. And then if we can figure that out, we can continue on with our process of refining our cutaway system. How's everyone doing? All right, so when we run this deal here, so when we run this and we make something, we make a little room. The flood fill is definitely a lot slower now that it's doing it diagonally. It's probably filling the whole space every time because, yeah, now it's this, the gray, the interior gray should be lighter than the exterior gray. That's what it would be like if it was doing this correctly. My suspicion is that it's like glitching through a wall somehow or a floor. My guess. So we need to revisit the logic and figure that out. Diginagans, you're programming a few dozen HTML emails right now. You're just trucking through them. Nice. Yeah, I've recently been tasked at work with coming up with a replacement for Gmass, which is like a dynamic emailing thing where you can replace dynamic fields in an email from a spreadsheet to give like individualized emails. It's like really easy to use, but it costs money. So they're like, oh, we could probably replace this. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's replace a paid program just so we don't have to pay it. How much will it cost to create? That doesn't matter as long as, you know, I do it rather than, you know, us paying a vendor. So that's fun. I've been working on similar things. I say working on, I've added it to my to-do list. All right, so when we do the compartmentalize, what's happening to us is we're getting through the exterior flood fill and then never getting past that. Like, we never get past the flood fill or the exterior flood fill. We can see that if we run this with the debugger. It's like really warm. I'm gonna like remove my sweatshirt off stream. Be right back. Hey Repo, of course you come in right at that moment. Getting a good start. Yeah, we're picking up where we left off Tuesday. We had some bug fixes. How are you doing? Or we have some bugs. We've changed the way our flood fill works. Yeah, it's starting to feel like summer out here. So yeah, this unvisited list, there's never anyone left unvisited after the initial run through. I thought of a way we could work around this maybe by changing some stuff. By like pre-generating the list of coordinates to fill and then seeing how that works, but yeah, we got to figure out why the exterior flood fill is going through everything. You're just working away on your app? Oh yeah, you're still working on your app. I remember your app. What's that IDE? This is the Godot engine. So this is built into the Godot engine. This is JetBrains Writer. This is where I edit my C# code. And then all the engine stuff just happens in here. This is their built-in code editor. Shenanigans? Yeah, you built something sort of like that a while ago. By like that, you mean GMAS. An API endpoint that you can send a template to and data and have it render that as an email, optionally dynamically to a list of recipients. Nice, yeah. Yep. Mail merge can like almost do it, but there's like some limitations, which warrant just kind of coming up with our own solution. Am I on YouTube or Discord? Who am I talking to? Oh, I'm talking to Digitanigans on YouTube. We are multi-streaming, so we're on Twitch and YouTube. All right, so whenever we get through this loop where we remove all of the visited coordinates from the exterior flood fill, we are eventually, when we finish this process, there are no unvisited coordinates left, and that's a problem. So we kind of need to figure out why that's happening. The unvisited list is valid. We double checked that. We're using the used bounds. When we do the exterior flood fill, we actually create a flood volume which is bigger than the fill volume. So I think of that as we're flooding this space to fill this inner space. So we flood by starting from the outside and working our way in. And if there are sealed compartments, each exterior flood fill, the exterior flood fill will only flood the outside, the stuff that's exposed to space. And then we pick a spot inside that hasn't been filled yet, and we start another flood fill from inside. And that's how we figure out where all the compartments are. Eep. Oh, that's Repo. Hey, welcome to YouTube. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, don't forget. I'm not a good typical streamer. I'm like not good at pushing the channel. All right, so my theory about what's happening. I have a couple of theories. This only started when we started diagonally checking, so my guess is that we're missing a condition to early out. The only real condition is this, which is like if we run into a solid block, you are not supposed to do anything else. You're supposed to just get out. You're just supposed to be done. Continue on to the next block. That should prevent us from ever having this issue. However, that's clearly not happening. We're still considering, for somehow when we're adding these, this double comparison is not doing it for us. This continue should be helping us, but maybe it's not. Thank you, Repo. Do I want you to switch back to Twitch if I'm trying to get partner? Gotta have the viewers. Doesn't matter. It's whatever your viewing experience is. The difference to me, or not to me, the difference that I'm aware of is the viewing quality is better on YouTube, but there is a longer delay in the chat. So it's like, it's kind of like, where do you want to be? It's like, if you're just watching with this in the background, YouTube's probably better. There aren't ads yet, unlike Twitch. Twitch has ads right now. The YouTube will probably eventually have ads once I get big enough, but oh yeah, I'm nowhere close to partner. That's fun though. If I start averaging 75 users, if I start averaging 75 concurrent users on Twitch, we can have that conversation. I don't know if that's gonna happen. You know, I'm always looking down at the chat corner, which I realize is over here. I'm tempted to like lower my camera so that I'm like, it looks more like I'm looking into the camera when I'm talking to chat. But then I'd have this kind of, the camera would be below me, and I don't know what that would look like. I think that would be worse than what I've currently got going. I guess it kind of looks like I'm looking at chat when I look over at chat, because that's kind of where chat shows up on the right. All right, enough streaming nonsense. What are we doing? So we're validating this process where we're going, we essentially go through, we fill up all the diagonal neighbors on the same Z level as this block, and then we check to see if we can go up 1 Z level, and we check to see if we can go down 1 Z level. And at some point, we are just blowing past whatever barriers are supposed to prevent us from doing this. The main barrier is this, but it's clearly not doing anything. So if we go through here, if not fill volume.contains adjacent or visited.contains. So if we've already visited this tile or it's not included in the volume we're trying to fill, then we just continue and we don't add it, right? Just continue. Here, we do a quick check. I'm most concerned about this Z level stuff. I feel like the Z level changing is maybe what's causing us problems. So if there is no block, oh, has any. Oh, this is wrong. 1 Z level above. This should be just has, and it should be, oh no, this is correct. So it has any bulk or door. So if we're checking the level above us, we're checking to see if our tile is blocked above us, because if it is, we shouldn't flood fill. Is that right? I don't know if that's right. I feel like my logic here is inadequate. Maybe it's right. Maybe that's right. Because then when we get to that, when we consider the blocks above, when we try to flood fill, if we try to flood fill down and this block doesn't have a deck, we'd be able to get through. I'm trying to figure out how to handle diagonals on a different Z level. I think the logic I have here is correct as far as when to disregard it.
Maximum walk.
Hey, no Joel, how's it going? Repo, you can't handle when I look directly at the camera. You feel like I'm judging you. Come for the quality and the co-working. All right. I won't dare to look at the camera directly. Yeah, we're here for the chill co-working. That's fine. I'm not a direct eye contact kind of person. You know? Pick somewhere in the middle distance. So forward is up, weirdly enough. Back is down. I feel like we did this before. We're just going to compare the unvisited versus the visited here real quick. Just to see what's going on here. Visited should be larger than unvisited, I think. Or they should be exactly equal in length. You're just kidding, Repo. Me and a few other streamers are your only human contact. You need to get at silliness out sometimes. No, I feel that. I definitely have that impish silliness impulse when I'm viewing other people's channels, and now that I'm streaming, I have to know to you know, be respectful and not be too impish and chaotic. Oh, I had this exactly where I wanted it, and then I messed it up. There it is, 1920 by 1080. I just did the opposite of what I wanted. $96 unvisited versus 627 visited. That's interesting. Oh, maybe there is a problem with the unvisited list. 306 versus 836. That's pretty wild. Let me compare those two things. I guess what I should do is I should share what the... I should say bounds dot, let's just say bounds. Let's validate this part, and then we can at least tell whether it's the data we're feeding in or if it's part of the check. Taras Mazepa. How's it going? How are you doing? Dang it. I need to fix that top level bug that we know exists. It's like a safety issue. All right, so calculations. Oh my god, let me out. Where's my calculator? I need like a are you like in the window? If not, don't do anything. All right. Yeah, any mouse movement, whether I'm in the window or not, is like causing stuff to happen. I need to fix that. All right, so 31. So what's 50 minus? Oh my god, I can't see. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna figure out the size of this thing. I actually should have said the size. I should have printed out the size and not the we want bounds.size, not the actual bounds coordinates. Do I want to hear a joke about a vibe coder? Yeah, I do actually. Vibe coder. Vibe coder walks into a bar and orders, "Greetings, beverage professional. I would be delighted to partake in a fermented barley-based alcoholic refreshment served at the optimal temperature." Waiting for the punchline. I mean, that's funny by itself. I'm waiting to see if the bartender says anything. All right. Subject of a joke: how expressive LLM language leaks into real life. Okay. Yeah, I've seen that. I've heard that with kids now. Like, if you listen to how bartender says "get out," yeah. If you listen to how kids talk, how is that? How are the coordinates changing like that wildly? You listen to how kids talk now. They like speak with like the cadence of like edited down YouTube and TikTok videos. Like, they speak the way a YouTuber speaks when they're like editing their speech down for like a video. It's kind of wild when you think about it. I need to get some good data. I'm getting like super weird data from this. Why are you doing this to me? We gotta change the way the input handler reads out of window inputs. So 22 by 12 by 2 is 528. Okay, so then what is 24 by 14 by 4? 1334. Okay, so it's calculating the correct unvisited list and the correct number of visited coordinates. But the problem is it's visiting every single coordinate. It's not being stopped by anything. When it hits a solid object like a wall, it should stop searching. But it's just continuing on through the whole thing. So at least we know we're passing in the right values in terms of the bounds and the unvisited versus the visited. But we're visiting too many things. We're not being stopped. Repo, you noticed that? It was actually relatively pleasing or easy on the ears, but now they all talk like that and it's annoying. I know, it's very strange. Very, very, very strange to hear. All right, so here's my thought. Trying to think of what my thought is. I said I had a thought and I was gonna say it, but you know, not really sure. Visited. I want to see what the visited list is. So no, I don't think there's any problem with get non-overlapping. I don't think we're like getting the wrong stuff. Yeah, that's fine. So we should not be able to reach every single coordinate. Like, we're searching around the edges, but when we go in and we hit a wall, which we should do immediately, the search should stop because we hit this if block has a floor and a wall, or block has a floor and a door. Then we continue. Hey, Rhiannon Journey, how are you doing? If fill volume dot contains. Oh, so maybe. No, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Fill volume would contain because we're using fill volume. This should pass. I guess what I should do is check to see if anyone's actually hitting this. That seems like a good check. Because that is the point at which we should be. Man, I hope I did not. Okay. You're doing good. Busy day at work. You're just not getting to slow it. Oh, you're just now getting to slow down a bit? Nice, nice. Yeah, yesterday was so crazy for me. I couldn't stream. I couldn't step away from work like at all, except for like lunch. I did not get my split where I got to, you know, do this for a while. Are you not going to tell me I guess it won't tell me the coordinates. Okay, so it's catching a ton of these. What are the forms? Form equals both. Okay, that's good. Both means floor and wall. It's shorthand for that. Huh. I might rename both to wall. Or something. I don't know. To figure out a better way of evaluating certain things. I could probably have a block like .is solid, and it checks whatever forms make one solid. Okay, so this is doing the thing, and yet, so if this is correctly continuing, then where is the problem? Is it weird that if I leave the braces here? I also can't decide if I like spaces or no spaces. I kind of like no spaces. But maybe I also just should get rid of the braces. I keep changing my mind about my C# coding style. Also don't like this. I do like this though. All right, so if this safety check is happening and we're not processing these coords, so we're popping stuff off the stack. So then is the problem here? Has to be here, right? Oh. If not fill volume dot contains adjacent or visited dot contains adjacent, continue. Visited dot contains adjacent. Yeah, so if we've already checked this coordinate, don't add it. If it isn't here, don't add it. We need to wait to process the solidness of it here. Yeah, sorry. This one just has me totally stumped. I don't understand what we're doing that is causing such a problem here. Like, we're correctly early outing. Visited. And yet no coordinates are left when we're done with this. Hey, Anonymo. How's it going? I was lurking into your channel the other day. I saw you working on some art. That was good stuff. It was cool. I like the way you were using gradients. Like you were doing like layers of gradients for like the background and stuff. That was cool. We are stuck on this bug hunt. We can't figure it out. Something we're doing in these loops is causing us to basically flood fill through solid barriers that should stop us. And I just checked, and this thing is correctly earlying out. Like it's continuing the loop instead of going through if we run into one of these solid blocks. You had to redo that one background so many times. It looks good. Our neighbors list is fine. We checked that. If we just call get neighboring cells, we just get a list of all of the vector 2. We just get this whole array as a span. I don't think there's a problem here. Our automatic process for turning vector 2s into vector 3s shouldn't have anything to do with this. If we look at our... Well, what I actually need to do is look at the vector 3. So if we look at our vector 3, if we pass in a vector 2... Can we just make a vector 3 by passing in a vector 2? I have an implicit operator that lets me do this, right? Here we go. Yeah. Just vector 0. So it's not like we're accidentally like moving the components to the wrong place. You finally submitted the game on Monday. You'll see on Saturday how you did. Nice, nice. That's for the game jam. You spent just over a week. It was your first project. How's development going? Yeah, it's good. We're stuck on a bug. We've expanded our floodfill to floodfill diagonally. So when we check a cell, we then check all the 26 adjacent cells. Instead of just the 6 like cardinal directions, we check all the diagonals as well. All the corners. And something about that is causing the floodfill to leak, such that the system just can't detect sealed areas, sealed compartments, because it's leaking through. So it treats everything as being outside because it's unable to find. I presume it's some kind of Z offsetting thing. Like, I bet what it is is like here when we go across Z levels. So like if we try to go to a Z level above us and we don't have a bulk. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. We need to do checks to see if we can even get to that cell, I think. So we need to check to see if we have a blocker that would be sealing, that would seal us. Actually, maybe we don't even need to do that. No, yeah, that's fine. So if not block dot has any bulk or door for each offset, what we need to do is we need to actually say if buffer dot get adjacent dot has block dot forms dot deck continue. We could actually say in any of these cases. I'd even like to maybe do these two first. Maybe we just do all three. It doesn't matter. We say this. So if that or this, maybe or not this. So if any of these cases, continue. All right, I think that will seal everything up. I wanted to avoid quite so many buffer checks, but I don't think there's a way around this. Oh, does this need to be a try get though? Yeah, because this could actually go outside the bounds, couldn't it? We need a try get. Okay, so that maybe needs to be a separate. So let's write a try get, I guess. Public bool try get vector 3i coords out t value. Can't do that as, it's got to be value. We can say if contains coords. Value equals span get index coords. Return true. else value equals default, return false. Actually, yeah, we don't need the else. So what we need to do, instead of a get, we need a try get. So what we'll do is we'll say if buffer.tryGet, we could say if not buffer.tryGet, adjacent out block value. We could say adjacent block. So if any of these fail, we continue. Otherwise, we're going to say else if adgeblock.has forms.dec continue. Oh, we don't need the else. Okay. All right, this should be sufficient for this check here. It's kind of horrible and involves a lot, checking a lot of things, but we need to just duplicate this down here. Except here we're checking for has any block.forms.dec or block.forms.door. Actually, it's bulk or door that we're checking. All right. Yeah, I think we were diagonally like punching through. Or when we were going up down, we weren't checking. Yeah, I see what we were doing and it was not good. The changing the Z level was the problem, essentially. I don't think we need that check when we're just working on the same Z level. I don't think we do. Because we have this check. All right, let's see if we fixed it. Here's hoping. Did I crash something? No. Failed kind of abruptly there. It kind of just hung is what it did, which is not great. Let's see if I can do this in one shot. Yeah, what the heck? I think it might be getting caught in like an infinite loop. Let's see. There's an early out that's supposed to prevent that. Shenanigans, you're only half paying attention. You think you found the source of the floodfill leak? Yeah, I think when we were trying to punch up or down through the floor, we were incorrectly gauging the conditions of the block on the other side, and so we were punching into this area that we should not have, and we were only doing it from above or below. And now I'm unclear what's happening, but we're definitely freezing from like a tile system standpoint. So what I did is not good. I think I can make it better by switching to only using the settled blocks for the flood fill. I'm gonna do that. Which I've thought about that, and I think that's fine. I'm gonna say block buffer. Settled blocks. Actually, we're gonna say settled blocks. I wanna make it super clear that that's what we're using. We're gonna not flood fill based on the preview, which is gonna look kind of weird sometimes, but I think it's gonna be the best thing to do considering how expensive the flood fill is currently. Especially because I seem to be crashing things silently when I do so. In such a way that just never ends. So when I finish this, we should flood fill this. If we crash, that's interesting. So we're not crashing. Like, I can continue to interact with the UI, but everything is becoming completely unresponsive, which is interesting. All right, well, we might have solved one bug, but we created another. So what did we do? Oh, did I do this change in the interior? Oh, I need to make the same change in the interior. We're getting to the interior flood fill, and then it's breaking. I forgot. This change needs to be duplicated down here. I think that's what's happening. I can't think of another explanation. I'm doing a has any check, right? Here. Yeah. All right, let's see if that helps. Also, how dare you only pay half attention, me diginanigans. No, I genuinely hope everyone is only ever paying half attention to me. It blunts the amount of potential embarrassment I might suffer. All right, we fixed it. We fixed it. It took 2 days, but we fixed it. Oh, that doesn't. Oh, that doesn't change it because. Oh, I like that. I like that actually a lot. So now the only thing is, if we like make a change like this, it's not gonna re-flood fill until we're done, until we commit that change. So so as long as I do this, it's not gonna be different. It's gonna consider this outdoors. But now it's good. Still a little slow. I don't understand the slowness here. I think it's because we're redoing the flood fill all the time. So we want to change the conditions in which we do a flood fill. Rhiannon Journey, subscribed with Prime. You've subscribed for 4 months. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Such hype. You're working your way towards that gold badge. It's gonna look good. Really appreciate it. Ship it. Really appreciate it. Remember to use those Prime subs, everyone. It's Jeff Bezos's dollars at work there. It's free to you, you know? Or it's free to use, I should say, you know? Oh, I want to fix my formatting here. I started doing this weird... Oops. I started doing this weird thing where I like offsetting stuff like this. I've decided I like this kind of way to cascade if ors and ands. A little awkward just having the execution just at the tail end here, but I almost always do this for a continue or a break or something, so it's fine. I end up writing a lot of JavaScript in my day job. It's kind of interesting how similar it is to C# on many levels. This is your entertainment while you work? Oh, that's what paltry entertainment I offer. The shenanigans. Hopefully you just feel better about your work, considering how I kind of flail about in mine. That's what I'm hoping for all of you. So you feel better about what you're doing when you can see me here with what I'm doing. But yeah, the floodfill fix is fixed. That's good. We need to change when we run it, which is going to be challenging. We essentially need to... Right now, we're just running the floodfill system whenever we run the tool system. But what we need to do is we need to actually... We need to run the tool system. Come back, see if there's... We need to do something like this. We need to, like... what do we need to do? There's a tools output. When are we writing to the output? Output. Output.tools.enqueue command.back. So we write to an output when we do a copy. We write to an output when we do cut. The cut I understand. The copy I don't really understand. Who consumes this? Oh, of course, I immediately closed the thing I'm trying to look at. You gotta be kidding me. Alright, who consumes this? UNQ. Who eats this? The game script. Okay, why? Oh, we enqueue this back because... Oh, we got a spam bot here. Load up them photon torpedoes. You know the drill. Digital against Microsoft owns C#. It's a big contributor to the JS steering committee too. No, I was being a little facetious. I'm aware of of the deep interrelation that is like the development history of these two languages, C# and JavaScript. Rhiannon Journey, instead of popping things off a stack, you're gonna eat them instead now. Yeah. It's a stack of pancakes. You don't just pop a pancake off the stack, you know? And if you do, it's going somewhere specific. Hey, Fusionist. All right, let me ban the spam bot. Hold on. Mind your phasers here. All right, we got him. How's it going, Fusionist? Been a minute. All right, so I actually need to like, so for one thing, we aren't actually writing back structural changes this way. We could. So how do I tell the fill system when there's been a structural change and it needs to run? I think the easiest thing to do would be to put something on a stack. Or into one of our queues, into one of our, like, tool queues. Problem is, if I consume those, then they aren't going to be around. So do I put it back on the input? No, that doesn't really make sense. I could put it back in the input. That seems like a weird hack and kind of a workaround. Maybe I make a fill queue. Like I send a command. That's probably what I do. Is I make a fills queue. You're back home now? Oh yeah, you've been traveling. That's awesome. How am I? I'm good. We're working hard on stuff. We're making some progress. Not a lot, but you know, some. All right, so what we're gonna do is when we do something that has actually changed. So this is gonna be like, we're gonna say game.input.fills.enqueue. We're gonna say new command. Fill. I feel like this is overkill for our purpose. And in fact, a command is probably not the best way to do this either. You know, maybe run could return a value. I didn't think about that, but the system running could return a value. That's actually maybe an even easier way to do this. We could say if toolsystem.run well, no, let's say toolsystem.run out bool structural change. Then we can at least track if there's been a structural change. Public. Diginanigans. Hey, we all have these hair pulling bugs. It's comfortable knowing I'm not the only one breaking things. Oh, all the time. My day yesterday at work was so... We tried to make too many changes to a process. And I needed to execute all the changes on like the Tuesday following like a holiday Monday. It was so insane. It took my whole day. And I even spotted a bug this morning. And I had to go in and change more stuff when the system was already supposed to be done. It's terrible. Truly terrible. So yeah, I feel like I'm getting better at bug fixing just because of the sheer number of bugs that I create. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, so if we do a copy or a cut, so instead of bothering with this fills thing, yeah, I don't want to do that anyway. So what we can do is we can have a system variable that says, so we can basically say, so if we do a cut, we're basically gonna say structural change equals true. If we do a cut, we're changing the structure because we are erasing blocks directly when we do a cut. I don't know if I like that. Usually when you do a cut, the thing doesn't actually get cut until you do a paste. But I can't actually... It's hard to maintain that kind of state over time. A little bit. It's not impossible, but it's a little annoying. So instead, let's just say when we do a place. When we end a place... we end a place, we're going to say structural change. I kind of don't love our copy paste process at the moment, but that's beside the point. I kind of want, what I want is to have like a click drag. So I want you to be able to select an area and then click and drag it around. And then if you want to copy something, I actually want you to like save a prefab, like save it as a prefab or copy it into the clipboard. And maybe you can have like so many clipboards. So like you can either save it permanently or just temporarily save it. That would be good because then instead of cut, we could have drag. And then copy could still work the same. I got to think about if I want to implement that. I don't love cut paste. And you know, it's my tool. So it can work the way I want it to. I'm getting kind of annoyed at this. Some values of the enum are not processed inside switch statement or handled via default section. I don't consider that an error. Configure inspection severity. Do not show that. It'd be one thing if I didn't have the default, so if I remove the default, I would expect an error. So I'd expect some other warning. Okay, you're not going to warn me about that? Cool. Okay, so it will warn me when I'm catching stuff in a default, but if I have no default and I'm not catching all the, it's just silent. Okay, I love that. Love that for me. That's not how, it's not how that should work. I should be warned if I'm not catching every case and I don't have a default. Super weird. Okay, whatever. Maybe there is that and I made that silent as well. Hopefully not. I'll check Git. I'll check the Git diff. Because I don't actually remember where these settings are. All right, so I broke something. Where did I break something? Where is the error? Show it to me. Show me the error. Okay, I have the mismanaged number of closing brackets somewhere. How? I mean, this looks weird, for one thing. No, that's correct. Oh, this one doesn't have a default. Oh, no, it does. And this switch. Okay, you go to here. I'm not closing my scope somewhere. Oh, do I need to assign structural a default value? Structural change must be assigned upon exit. Can't it just be structural change? Can I just make it false by default? I can't do that. An out or ref parameter cannot have a default value. Cool. So we're going to presume the structural change is false. The heck? Kind of liked it better when it was when it retained its parameter color. Can I say something like whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, so there's a couple cases where structural change will be true. And then here we're going to say if structural change, then we run. Then we run the fill system. That's a simple but sweet way to prevent that from happening unnecessarily. All right, so let's speed everything up at least, because we were having a major slowdown because we were flood filling constantly. Now we should only do it. Yeah, everything's a lot more responsive now. Even once I actually have something worth flood filling, it should continue to be way more responsive. So when I finish this, yeah, there we go. It's kind of weird how that happened here. Okay, so you remain, even if I fill that. So if I close this, weird. There's some kind of delay where it's not updating the system if I just click. I have to click and then move the mouse around. It's like it's not running off of the click if there isn't also some movement. Oh, it's because I'm not checking anything if there isn't. No, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, that's weird, but I don't care about that right now. So let's see how this works. Let's make multiple rooms and see how the system likes that. It seems reasonably quick now, which is great. Okay, so it does slow down at the moment that I finish a command. So if I do this, oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Oh, dang it. How is that back? The corner thing is back again. Does that go away if I do this? Okay. Oh, so there's a weird edge case. Huh, okay. Well, there's another edge case to go figure out. It's fun. It's fun for me. I need to change the way the exterior cutaway works so that it hides the ceiling. I guess there's a reason I didn't have it do that, huh? Kind of annoying. I gotta think about how I want to deal with that. Okay, that's not terribly unresponsive. So it's interesting. So I'm trying to understand why these corners here are disappearing. They're not being made part of this compartment, I think. Which is weird. They should be. Try to understand why. I wonder if that's a problem with the flood fill or a problem with... I don't think it's a problem with the flood fill. And it shouldn't be because we're not doing anything to limit that. Although, if either of these comes up, or the compartment. And then we continue. So we should add that, hit this, or the compartment. I need to start adding some debug tools so I can like mouse over blocks or coordinates and get a readout of what's there. I want to do that kind of soon because I'm having questions about that, and that's something you'll probably want to be able to debug. Is like I just mouse over a coordinate, it can give me a little UI element that says this is this block, it has these forms, it's facing this direction, it has this content. Probably something I want to do sooner than later. All right, let's dangerously presume that the fill system is working. Okay, I need to port this try-get function to the read-only version of this. I need the read-write and the read-only to have like some common ancestor or something, I feel. So I don't have to maintain them separately. Oh yeah, I don't even have the set functions defined. Oh yeah, you can't, what am I talking about? You can't have set functions on a read-only. I wonder if there's an advantage to having a write-only. I don't think there is. I could think of some cases maybe where that could be useful, but I don't think it's worth messing around with. Yeah, I feel like this issue must be in the cutaway system. So cutaway tiles by compartment. So what we do is we look at our coordinates. We look at the coordinates of the block that we are touching. We figure out what compartments are in that. I need to formalize this how we're going to implement this bit field thing for compartments. I'm a little concerned about it, honestly, because it's going to introduce a hard limit to what we can do in terms of how many compartments we can have. Oops. Hold on, I'm getting some text here. All right, so we figure out what compartments we actually are interested in. We go through all of the different tiles. We're only interested in this. Here's one thing I want to change, which I haven't done yet. Right now, we're doing the cutaway per tile. like per actual tile. I want to like cut away by block. I want to say like this block is being cut away. Although that's a little tricky because you'll still need to interpret that based on some things. Like based on your relationship to the Z coordinate of like where the player's pointing. But I think that can be well-defined behavior. Because we could put in a cutaway and then we could say, well, this is a door. We actually want to do something different with a door that's cut away or something like that. Like we can render something else instead of just having it be cut away. I mean, we could do that here with the per tile, but I feel like we're wasting a lot of time doing this per tile instead of per block. So if parts and this compartment. Parts. If parts and... Oh, there's an and. Okay, yeah. Okay. So positive X block buffer dot getter default vector 3i dot right left. So we get our neighboring compartment and we say we ask about those. Oh, what's this and doing here? Should this middle one be an or? So right now this is saying if both of these... Oh, no, we're saying if both of these are within the compartment. Continue. Is that right? We're running into this edge case where a corner piece is getting cut away by mistake, but it's only if there's another wall on like the other side. Like it's only if in like this very specific circumstance. I'm gonna just change this and see what happens. It'll probably look really wrong, but I'm having a hard time visualizing the difference. So, you know, we're just gonna make it visual. It's a great reason to do something like that. But yeah, I really need like a tooltip option. Maybe like if I click middle mouse or something like that, it like shows me some data about the block. I don't know. I would like to do something. Okay, so if I just start adding walls, what happens? Oh, the whole thing kind of breaks. Or maybe it's the or. Yeah, it's the or. All right, well, or doesn't do what we want. Okay, so if we have this, notice the corners are being brought down somewhat correctly. Maybe that's not the behavior we want. What's weird is if I put walls in front here, I think we're going to get different behavior. So now if I do this, well, for one thing, this is a problem, but maybe that's a separate problem we need to deal with. What's weird is the same thing happens if this becomes like a room. So if I make this a room here, dang it. I'm being lazy. Move the camera. So if I do like this, now we've got another compartment here. If I make another one here, that's actually that's really awkward to make compartments like that. Okay, so like this works correctly. You can see the corners being cut away well. It looks right. This is good too. This is well, this is weird. The way it does that is a little weird. But fine, I guess. Okay, so this corner piece is rightly considered parts of both of those. Is this corner piece considered the same? It is, okay. And yet, it does this, which is weird. I think the way we're going to have this work is whatever, we're going to build a list of compartments that are in front of other compartments. And then when you're trying to look into one compartment, it is going to not only erase all of the walls in front of this compartment, it will also just erase all the walls of every compartment that's in front of this compartment. I think that's how we're going to handle this. Otherwise, we need to do a bunch of weird stuff to get this to work right. But I don't know. Maybe that's too much. I find the cursor cutaway distracting. The way it like is just moving around all the time. I think it's cool, but I find it distracting. All right. We've got like 30 minutes left or so, so I think we could probably get started on that. The only other thing we could do is fix that other bug. Should probably be a good idea. I guess order of operations here doesn't matter because they're all ands. So I can get rid of these parentheses. In fact, I actually don't need to have this part at all, do I? I can actually take this part out. So we can actually combine the Y and the X blocks and then compare them. It's easier. Thanks, Fez on SE2. Appreciate it. All right, so if we were to implement something like that, I guess the first thing I want to do is, like I said, I want to switch this to be, I want to switch this to be like a block-based instead of tile-based. So we're gonna write a version of this. Cutaway blocks by compartment. A lot of this is going to be the same. Like this part all at the top is the same. So yeah, we're going to do this block. Does the room cutaway work for multi-levels yet? Yes, but only on like a coordinate basis. Like, so we have two systems we use to do the cutaways. We have the cutaway tiles by cursor coords, and we have the cutaway tiles by compartment. The only one that works is the cursor coords. So it like looks at the cursor's coordinates, and then it just slices out like a cube from that point. Like it creates a volume using that cursor coordinate as like the far lower point, and then the near upper point is like the camera. So, and it just eliminates all of the points within that volume. So it works, but not in a way that like I like. So we're trying to switch it to be compartment based, which will also work for multiple Z levels. It will be interesting to see how it works when a compartment itself takes up multiple Z levels, but it should still work. The thing we'll need to come up with is this notion of which compartments are obscuring other compartments. Okay, so we do all of this part first, which is the... We need to know what block we're talking about. Oh, no, we just get our base chord here. And then here we're gonna say for vector 2i, vector 3i. Actually, we're not going to store this coordinate, are we? We can call this cursor. This is where the cursor is. And then for each set of coordinates in blocks. Blocks dot AABB. Excuse me. Oh, for each. Oh, I need to make the blocks enumerable But for right now, what I can say is blocks.aabb. All right, so we're going to iterate through each coordinate. What we're going to do then, so if key.z is less than coords.z, cutaways.add key. That we don't want to do. We need a system that's more sophisticated than that. So let's not worry about that right now. Let's say so what we can do is we can say parts. Do we only need to know this? Do we not need to know anything else about the block? I don't think it doesn't look like it. We'll say for each compartment in compartments. Should probably maybe call it part index. This is the index of the part. Nah, whatever. We could say part bit. Whatever, compartment. In compartments. So right now we will have it work like this. It's not going to work like this. Parts in compartment 0. Just going to add this stuff. Blocks. Now getter default. So here I am doing a conversion. I'm making it safe. I'm making it resilient to changes in the camera, which is good, but I need a better way of doing that than what I've currently got here. So cutaways right now does not work on a block, on the basis of a single block. So that needs to change. So what we're doing is we're checking if cutaways.key contains. So generate tile cell data. We can say if this is gonna be complicated. Making a big change like this is going to be complicated, but that's okay. We can do... You can say if cutaway.contains key.xyz, continue. And we can say and key.w. Do this check. I don't love that I can't say and, but I can say key.w is or. I guess that's a different, this is a different thing. It's kind of cool. I kind of like it. Key.w is tile layers. I say not, is not, or oh. Can I not do that? I don't know if that's how I want to do it. I'm going to make this a bit more of a... I'm going to do this in parallel a little more instead of at the risk of like completely breaking everything. Like just absolutely. We're going to change the way this works a little bit. We're gonna set the groundwork a little more clearly before we make a crazy breaking change. So what we need to do is we need to figure out the relationship between the compartments before we decide how we're gonna cut them away by. So we need a process for, once we know what all the compartments are, we need to associate them. We need to associate those compartments with each other. Now, how do we want to store that information? I'm thinking of just a dictionary that has a compartment as a key. Each compartment is keyed into the dictionary. And then the value is all of the compartments that obscure that compartment. Or do we want to store it the other way? Do we want to list all the compartments this compartment obscure? No, we want to list it that first way. I'm just going to be, excuse me. We're going to make a dictionary. I'm not convinced that the best place to do this is the tile system, but I'm also not sure. The only other thing we could do is maybe put it in a buffer. So right now I'm just going to put it in the tile system, but we might eventually want to move it out to a buffer that's associated with the entity because it's relevant for each ship. Each ship is going to need to remember this information, but for right now we can just do it here, and it can just be int. Or is it going to be uint? The uint value. We'll call it obscured by. Oh, is it? Do we just store ints? Oh, the key will be an int. Value will be a uint. I think that's right. So we need to calculate obscured by. Call it like determine compartment obscurity. I don't know. That's like a terrible way of putting this together. Buffer 3D read only block blocks. So if we were going to do this, we actually use a very similar process to the compartment. So we would go by, well, we aren't storing a list of the blocks in a given compartment. That seems unnecessary. So we probably just go for each block in blocks. I want you to be I enumerable. Enumerable. So your enumerable is going to work a lot like AABB. Could I just tell the AABB? Could I just say... Can I just reuse that? Whoa. Okay. There we go. So your enumerator is this whole deal. Is it better to just implement this? It's better to just call in. I the I enumerator in the AABB. Do I really care? Would it be that bad to just do something like AABB that be like for each vector 3i coords in AABB yield return coords. Oh, we're supposed to enumerate. No. I messed this up. But for 3D read only, it's not I enumerable t, it's I enumerable vector 3i. It'd be cool if it was I enumerable t. I guess I could do that. Oh, do I actually want that? Do I want to be able to enumerate every block in a buffer? In which case, I actually want to save this. Yeah, I think I do. I think I want to save it for that. I don't mind doing this. We can say for each block in block. We can say for each coords in blocks.AABB. All right, so this is going to be our system for figuring out which compartments potentially obscure other compartments, like which compartments are in front of this compartment. Now, whatever compartment, we're gonna do this for every compartment. So we're gonna say uint part equals blocks dot get coords dot parts. So these are our parts. We're going to do the same thing here where we're going to check our... Oh yeah, we should add this. If parts and... Actually, we can just ask if parts is 0. Do I actually need to use it? So we're going to get our neighbors. Oh, here's the trick. Here's the trick of this, which is actually annoying. We actually need to... We'll actually need to store this in a way that considers camera direction, or we'll need to recalculate it. For now, we're just going to recalculate it all the time. But eventually, we'll probably want to store it per direction. All right, so we'll get our positive X block and our positive Y block. And then this check, we're checking to see if both of these parts belong to the same. We're going to ask if, yeah, we're going to ask if, okay, do both of these blocks belong to the same? What if we are... So some blocks have multiple parts in them. That's annoying. I have to think about how to do that. Does it matter? Do I need to get a list of all the parts, all the compartments for a given We're basically just gonna check. So we look at a block in a coordinate. We check the 2 blocks in front of it on each side. We ask if either of those blocks belong to a different compartment than our block. The easiest way to do that is to AND them together and ask if that's equal to 0. So if we add these all together and it equals to 0, then we know that we don't share any blocks. Fact. However, we need to figure out, so great. So we figured out that, hey, one of the blocks in front of this other block belongs to a different compartment. We have to figure out which one that is. So we actually need to figure out the difference between the two. How do we want to do that? So these are this is a bit field. It's got multiple bits set probably. Some of them may be shared. We could do like a has any kind of thing. The way we do that with forms. So how would we write this out raw? We would, so if any of these are not shared. Oh, we can do this. We can say, so if we know we don't share any compartments, that's easy. We can just say obscured by. So we can say the key is, oh, what if this block is multiple? Here's the problem. So we actually do need a list of individual compartments. So we actually need to do the thing we do down here. We need to make this list. So we figure out all of the different compartments. And then what should we do? Should we go through? Should we check them individually? Probably. I guess we don't have to. I'm wondering if I can like get away with comparing the sum of the compartments. Yeah, we actually do need to shoot. We could use XOR. We could use XOR to tell if a block has a compartment that's not amongst our list. So what we should do here is we should get these variables, and we can decide if we want to process them together or separately. What we actually want to do is we want to say for each integer compartment in compartments, All right, we're getting close to our time for today, unfortunately. So we'll probably need to pick this up tomorrow. We'll be streaming Friday and Saturday, aka tomorrow and the next day. I don't see any reason why not. I think I got through the craziest stuff for work this week. So what do we need to do? We need to... So we have a compartment, so we know that there's a compartment in this block. The issue I'm dealing with is when there's more than one compartment. So what we want to do is we want to say... I think I want to do these blocks one at a time rather than compare them both together. I want to say like if positive block and one compartment. So we want to say if we have this compartment, I guess we want to do a quick check of both of them. We want to say if positive X block and positive Y block and why can't I do this? Oh, I need to say parts, not parts. So now why are you upset? Cannot input from the long to bool. Where the hell's the long? Oh, I need to give it a thing. So if we add these together, so both of these blocks have this compartment. Then I don't want to do anything. I just want to continue. Or is not equal to 0. We want to just continue. Gonna head out. Take care. No worries. Thanks to Shenanigans. We probably will be heading out too. Hope you have a great rest of your day. See you soon. All right. So yeah. So if both of these blocks belong to the same compartment, we don't want to do anything. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, Pheasant SC2, for hanging out. So otherwise, what we want to do is, if they don't both, we need to start checking them individually. So if they aren't, then we'll say if positive X block, not parts, and so if this is equal to 0, we want to do some stuff. So if these blocks, so if this part doesn't have this compartment, then what we need to do is we need to say obscured by. So we'd say obscured by, and the key would be compartment. It would be, we'd say, okay, so now we need to add, oh, it can't be add, it needs to be, it would need to be equals obscured by compartment, or we need to OR it, and we need to OR it with all. Now we can just say, we could just say positive X block. How do I negate? Negating is weird. But I know how to do it. I just need to remember. So if we look at block, give me the block. Remove forms. So weird. All right, so we say so the form that we want to remove. These are the forms we want to remove. This is the form that we've got. Okay, so we say, so to do that, we say, so this is positive X block dot parts. And then this is compartment. So we just want to take compartment out. Oh, but we can't. We need to say uint compartment. Super weird. Why is there a... What is going on here? Converted into compound assignment. What's going on here? So obscured by equals this. Oh, it needs to be this. Oh, no, this already is. This already has a... I do it in this order. So we do all this first, and then we combine it. This should work. This is super weird. This is basically this is saying add all the compartments that this block belongs to, except this compartment. Okay. I think that works for now. So we're going to expand on this tomorrow. But I think we're on our way to getting this kind of... I know we could use like a tree structure or something for this probably too, but this is what came to me first. Because I think eventually I can put this into a dynamic buffer. The result of this. I don't think I need to store it in a dictionary forever. I think that is good. So, all right. Appreciate everyone hanging out today. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'm going to see you next time. Bye.